Okay, here we go with section 2 for chapter 11. This one's pretty much, very much like section 1. Section 1 was accounts payable, and this one's accounts receivable. So not new stuff this time. It's just basically the same, just a tiny bit different. So start with the section review, work together. Number 1, start a new page for an accounts receivable ledger for Brandy Sparks. The account number is 140. The balance on October 1st is $212. So on your work together worksheet, you see you've got all your empty ledgers here. And I'll just show you the other side here real quick before we get started. You have some information for your cash receipts journal and some information for your sales journal. And also I'd mentioned at the end of the section 1 video that you're going to need some of the journals to continue on for section 2. So you're going to need this page from your 11-1 work together, because you're going to need a couple things off of here too that are going to go into section 2. So make sure you have this handy. So go back where we were. Number 1, I'm going to start a new ledger. So this ledger is for Brandy Sparks. So we'll go down here to the bottom one that's blank. So write Brandy Sparks. And on October 1st, she had $212. So October 1. Balance, we'll put our check mark there, 212, and then her account number is 140. Now this one, we could look here too, or 110, 120, 130, and the next one in order is just going to go up by 10, 140. So that takes care of number 1. Now number 2, post the accounts receivable debit line from entry 5 of the sales journal to the AR account for Brandy Sparks. So we'll turn this over. Here's the sales journal. Line 5, Brandy Sparks. And there's her account receivable debit, $576.64. So step 1 is always to write down the date. The date was the 20th. And then the next step, turn this back over. Her debit was $576.64. So that'll go $576.64, and she already had a debit, so we're going to have her debit plus her other debit to bring up what her current balance is after this new debit. So that's 64 cents. See, 2, 8, 7, 8. So her new debit balance is $788.64. And then the last thing we need to do are the reference numbers. So her customer number is 140. So we'll turn this over, and in here where her reference goes, that is 140. And this is Sales Journal, page 10. So we can just use S for sales and 10. So we'll put S10 right there. So that gets us through number 2. So number 3. Okay, number 3. Sorry for the dogs barking. Yeah, I am at home. So number 3, post the accounts receivable credit from line 9 of the cash receipts journal to the AR account for Alfredo Lopez. So we see we got Alfredo Lopez here. I'll turn this over, and we have a cash receipts journal. So we can go back and see. Our first thing was going to get the date, the 21st. So we'll write that down on the 21st. As you can see, he's already had his other transaction was already written down from the sales journal. So now we'll turn this back over and see that his account receivable was $254.40 for credit. So we'll turn that back over here. We've got $254.40. So then the transaction before this, he had a debit balance of $15.26.40. So since it's a debit, he's getting a credit of $254. We're going to subtract the credit. We're going to give him credit towards the debit balance, which is going to bring his debit down. So that's going to be, get everything added up, so the 40, so that's going to be 0 there. And it should be $1,272 for his new debit balance. So then the last thing we've got to do for this, the reference numbers. So his customer, his account number is 130. So we'll put him here at 130. And then he came off the cash receipts journal. So we can use CR 12 for page 12. Over on the other side. So here we'll put CR 12. My writing is a little too big. Sharpen my pencil too. CR 12. Okay. So that takes care of number 3. So number 4, post the credit entry on line 3 of the general journal to the accounts receivable account for David Bishop. And of course you can see it's a cash receipts journal and a sales journal. The general journal is going to come from your 11-1 work together worksheet. And you see here, page 3, David Bishop, a credit of $55.12. So we'll turn this back over. So the first thing that we do is we write the date. So the date is, move this over. since all the dates carry down, so it's October 12th, David Bishop. So we'll write that here, the 12th. And then he got a credit of $55.12. So that will go here in the credit column. Trying to get this to focus a little bit better for you. That makes it a bit much better. We'll put 5512, the credit. So you can see here, his balance on the 1st was $587. He had gotten a credit on the 10th, which brought his debit balance down to $238. Now on the 12th, he's getting another credit of $55.12, which brings him down to $183.38. And then we're still down to the last step, the reference numbers. So he's 110. So we go over here to the general journal. David Bishop, 110. And then general journal, page 11. That's going to be G11. G11. So that brings us down to number 5, the schedule of accounts receivable for Graphics Inc. So it's basically a repeat of section 1. You're just going to list, once again, you're going to list all the accounts and the total. So we've got Graphics Inc. Accounts receivable, and make sure you always have to have the title up there so you know which schedule this is. Schedule of accounts receivable, and I get that. I did get it spelled right, so October 31st, 2016. Oh, excuse me. So now here we'll just go ahead and on these lines here, you're going to list the 3 accounts and the final balances. So David Bishop, $183.38. David Bishop, 183.38. Then we've got Maria Farrell, 286.20. Then we have Alfredo Lopez, 1272. $170.00. Now the last one's going to be good old Brandy Sparks. She has $788.64. 83.38 plus 286.20 plus 1272 plus 788.64. $2,530.22, which is the total accounts receivable. Let's see what the book said the answer was. 2,530.22. So I know I kind of went through these kind of quickly. They're kind of the same thing, basically the same thing as section 1. But if you need to go back and follow the steps, here's your steps for starting a new receivable ledger for somebody. Then you've got your general journal and your steps for entering the information off of that. Your cash receipts journal. And once again, all your steps for doing that. And then lastly, the chart, your schedule chart. So hopefully it didn't go too fast. Once again, just doing the other section, it was basically the same stuff, except for payables, it was receivables. So that's it for section 2.